This is maybe Baltimore's most vibrant old ghost sign. It was preserved by some tin siding or something for like 50 years, and so that's why it still looks so great. There's a whole story to the Cubanola cigar signs. There's some of them in other parts of the United States. It was at one time there was as many of these as there was Coca-Cola signs, so they were kind of a big deal back in the day, but not so much anymore. And I was actually worried. I just happened to be driving by today after a meeting downtown, and I thought, whoa, it's really faded, but it hasn't. Just the bottom part, it's gotten a couple of tags on it. And I don't know, I'd have to go back and drop in some of the video from before when I took a video here before with my DJI Pocket 2. It's going to look kind of different. I also did some 360. I was obsessed with 360 cameras for a minute, and I got my 360 camera way up high, up close to those letters, and I thought that was something really special to do, but now I prefer the simplicity of just using my action camera. The building's got a few loose pieces, though. We might want to get that under control. I don't know who to talk to about this. Do you think we could maybe get the taggers to coordinate the colors with the sign? Is that too much to ask? It probably is, because this one looks like Oompa Loompas. It seems like the white behind the word Cubanola is kind of thinning out, and I can see the layer of signs beneath that even better. Like, I'm not sure I could read that before. Like, what does that say? Credit houses. Let's walk around the building. Another thing from that reel I made about this place is that this had just been revealed. There's a bunch of different kinds of weird old wood paneling and wood siding that had been removed from this place, and it had a great hand-painted sign right there between that window and that door that said the Intermit Cafe. And a cool thing that happened is that one of my great viewers on Instagram or YouTube got back to me with some more information that the Intermit Cafe was active in like 1978 when I was 1 year old. Probably if I had guessed back then, I would have guessed that it was siding and paint from the 80s. It just had that kind of color and vibe to it. Now it's Jem's Bottle Shop and Cafe. I'm a little bit disappointed whenever a sign like this gets painted and I wasn't even asked to price it, but that's how it is. Like, I don't get to paint them all, and I need to get over that feeling of insecurity about work. There's probably going to be work there, as long as I want it, as long as there's an economy, as long as there's a United States of America. Okay, pray for me. Look at this place. It really looks great. I'm excited because they had to like really peel off a bunch of garbage, painted brick, and then repainted. This isn't a bad job. Not a bad job. Not a very good job, but a pretty good job. I took my Pocket 2 and I got it on a stick and I put it over the fence just so that we could see some of this, and it was just, man, there was so much wreckage here. I don't think everyone fully appreciates how much work it is to like demolish stuff like that and then haul all of that away. This was just piles of rubble. And now look, it looks great. Just once again, for the record, I'm Greg Gannon of the Baltimore Gannons, painter of signs and murals, and I'm switching to hands-free so that I remember to take some good stills with the iPhone. I get out here, I use the action camera, gets great sound, everything is always in focus, I don't need to worry about something getting blurry while I'm talking in front of it. But then I get home and I don't have enough good stills. Alright, so there's the Cubanola sign, which we're going to take a closer look at with the videos. We're going to do a circuit around the building. Side note, it's only just now that I get here to this side of the building that I realized this is Duncan Street, and I painted a sign that went over there. It was one of my first projects as an independent sign painter. I did a kind of an architectural rendering of some development that was supposed to happen back there. Not here, on that side of this little parking area. That's where I had the sign was installed there. I think it was through the Southeast CDC. think the renovation maybe had something more to do with this garden. And that was going to be a rain garden. Which it looks like it is, and it's still very well maintained. Way to go, Southeast CDC. Yeah, pretty sure this is where the sign was, so if I can find a picture of that in my iPhoto app, I'll just drop it in here. Also, I'd like to point out to you people that I'm filming this on an action camera in like its widest setting so I can punch in and make it into Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. Because you guys are, I guess you're too cowardly to go and watch me on YouTube, where it actually looks much better with a wide picture. Imagine how much more you'd be seeing right now. I bet the brick front of that church is way handsomer. Hey, I never noticed it before, but look. We have ghost signs on this side of the building. And you can see out of the roof. Oh man, that is worrisome. So sad. I feel like I'm seeing two walking people, kind of like those universal symbols for walking people, or two sort of pink ribbons, like for like breast cancer awareness ribbons, but that's sort of doubtful. Like it looks like, well, I don't know. And some lettering over here. We definitely have some roof cavage. Uh-oh. We have a tree growing out of the brick here. Oh, and it is really bulging and weakened down there. I mean, a wall like that's going to need to be rebuilt, I guess. I mean, I'm told that when a tree establishes roots like that inside of a brick wall, it's nearly impossible to get it out. But then I also think about my grandfather and his advice on removing a bush that was at the end of our driveway, and my mom said it was blocking her view when she pulled out of the driveway in the house where I grew up. He said throw some gasoline on it. So I've always thought, since this sort of thing, came to my attention, tree growing inside of a brick wall, what I would do is, if I lived in the building, I could take care of a building like this really well. I mean, maybe you don't even have to fully rebuild that wall. You could just cut the tree off at the top, right? And then have a little dropper full of gasoline that you would put into the stump at the top of the brick wall. Just put a couple of drops of gasoline on it like once a week, and that would be killing it all the time. Also kind of poisoning your environment all the time, but whatever. The entire world is like trying to poison us every day at all times, so a little bit of poison put in the right place, maybe it makes your life better. The dosage is the medicine, poison, dosage, medicine. The roof on this back bit, it's kind of, that's also gone. Lots of holes in that. Is this a garage? I don't know. Looks kind of like a garage. Almost looks like an elevator shaft there too. I mean, maybe a church. Maybe if this was a church for a long time, maybe. More likely it was a store, right? Like maybe it was one of those clothing stores that are famous, that this part of town is famous for. The one where you'd buy your bell-bottom trousers. Somebody will have to fill me in on that. I forget the name. Merry-go-round? Was it merry-go-round? Now I'm going to do that thing that the young people do, where I just start walking confidently away from a wall, and when you see it in slow motion, you're like, how are they already walking? Where were they walking from so quickly? I'm going to try doing that. I'm going to try doing that thing that young people do in I messed up that slow-mo confident walk shot, but I think what I was saying was the sign looks good, but that building is in trouble. So if you know who we should alert to that fact, just go ahead and do it. You don't need to tell me that you're doing it. Proof is in the video there. But drop a comment if you have any knowledge about that clothing store that it used to be. Merry-go-round, I think it was called. An old painter guy that I used to work with, he really fondly recalled those stores. It was where he bought his bell-bottoms. It's amazing how much noise the trucks make, and then how much people are just waiting to lay on their horns because they had to take their eyes off the screen for a minute, slow down because somebody was in front of them for a minute, just for a minute, slow down just a little bit. Slow is beautiful, you guys. Take it from a sign painter. Slow is beautiful. You know, take a chill pill.